Well, what do you mean? Who doesn't
Who's the better driver?
Who doesn't get tickets? Me.
I get tickets.
He gets tickets all the time.
But I'm the better driver.
Don't you tell him about your seatbelt ticket you got the other time?
I don't get seatbelt. Oh, I did.
Yeah, and who tells you all the time to wear your seatbelt? Every time. Yeah. See, I'm always right.
No. Well, we moved here from Wisconsin, and we moved to the little town of Bixby, and I became best friends with Colin Stroop, who led me around. And
we always had like hay rides and stuff out here, so he'd come out here and hang out with my brother, and then pretty soon it started turning into just being out here more with Colin and Corey and watching movies and playing games and talking about stuff. And
this girl who I thought I could never be with because she was just too good and teacher's pet and you know, the brown noser of the school, and everybody always teased me like, Nick, you should go out with her. I'm like, no way, there's no way I can go out with her, you know.
For some reason, I don't know why, he'd asked my dad to come bale hay, and I really didn't like him at the time. I remember going to church and talking to people, and they'd make comments, well, why is Nick out there all the time baling hay for you guys? I'm like, I don't know why he wants to be out here. I guess he likes the farm. And it was quite odd because he worked in Owatonna, so he'd work and then come out here and spend a lot of time, and I'm just like, you know, I didn't like him at the time. I'm like, I don't understand. And
there was plenty of times where Larry came up to me and wanted to hand me cash, but you know, I just had to tell him, you know, I'm like, Larry, I'm not really here for your cash. I wanted you to pay me by you letting me date your daughter. And he goes, well, you know, we could do something like that. We could work something out like that. And I said, great. And then it just kind of rolled from there. I asked my best friend if I could date his sister, and it's usually a kind of a weird thing to do as a best friend's sister and thing, but I did it, and then I asked her parents. And
but after that point, we just started going on more dates together, and
people would call me crazy for going out there and spending so much time with her, and I felt like I had to be with her all the time for some reason, and she just, you know, kind of like sparked my spirit, if you could say.
In the year of 2009, I lost my grandma in March, and
that was really tough for her, and I had to help her through that. And roughly about that same time, my brother passed away, who I was really close to. He was 10 months younger than me, and went through brain cancer pretty much all his life. And that was tough for me, and she needed to be there for me, definitely, because she's seen a different side of me that she's probably never seen. And
I got to see the real Nick. You know, I got to see something I never got to see before. It was something that I wanted and needed to see, so I could, you know, kind of know who he is, because you really don't know someone until you see their emotions come out and stuff. You don't really know who they are. And I just feel like through those two experiences,
that really helped us through to build our relationship, to understand each other a little bit better. And as far as going through that, it helped me think like, this girl could really stand beside me and not behind me. You know, she really loves me, and she pushed me through probably the most difficult part of my life, and that really meant a lot to me.
And I think from that point on, I don't know, our relationship grew into the point where I just knew him so well. I just felt like I knew him, and it was just, I don't know how to explain it. You just know when you know. And
then it got to the point where I had to start really seriously thinking, like, I might marry this girl, so I got to really start doing it, because it's getting to that point where we've been together for 3.5, you know, going on 4 years, and just had to, you know, push the envelope a little bit, and because I really liked this girl, and I figured you know, if I'm going to be with her that long, I better marry her pretty soon here, so I might lose her.
And every time another couple or person got engaged, or like a girl, and I knew him, I'm like, I want that to be me.
So then we were getting really serious, and she was bugging me, and then all of a sudden, you know, just like people started getting engaged out of the blue, like, you know, Dylan and Nicole, and
Matt and Katie,
and there was Crystal and Joe,
Ben and Sammy,
Jeremy and Caitlin, and
Andrew and Kelly.
And it's just like kept going on and on and on. And every time somebody got engaged, she would just bug me. For every time somebody got engaged, I got a slap out of it.
He actually found out about a couple engagements and didn't tell me, and I found out, and he got slapped. I'm like, you better tell me if someone else gets engaged.
Brianna and TJ got engaged, and then when that one happened, that one was the big one, because it's like, if Brianna and TJ can get engaged, then we can, and you haven't done it yet.
Because I remember at one point I told him, I said, I'll wait forever for you, honey. I'll do whatever, I'll wait forever. And then I eventually got to the point, like, I'm not waiting anymore. He goes, well, remember you told me you would wait forever? And I'm like, yeah, I said that, but I don't care anymore.
That's when she went into thinking that I couldn't surprise her.
There's no way you're gonna be able to surprise me. There's no way.
I'll catch it. I know when you'll ask me. And I said, yeah, right, I'll get you, Now this is a challenge.
And so it got to the day of July 4th, and we were at church, and he wanted to leave because he was going to be in the parade. And I'm like, well, why are you going right now? And he's like, well, I have to wax the tractor. I'm like, what do you mean wax the tractor? You don't wax, why would you be waxing it now?
Just my excuse. I got out of it, and she believed it. So I got to the parade, and I set everything up. I set the signs up and got the tractor ready. And during all that time, Caitlin was back here at home getting Kelsey, spiffed up, if you could say, getting her ready.
Well, let's do your hair. I'm like, why? But I let her because she's my cousin, and that's kind of what she does. She's good at hair and stuff like that. So I'm like, sure. I mean, I guess I won't turn it down. Then I don't have to worry about my hair. And so she did my hair, and then she made a little comment to me like, oh, your nails still look nice, because I had my nails done for my friend's wedding, and they still were nice. And I'm like, okay, yeah, great.
And it was raining the whole time. I thought this parade was never going to happen because it just rained all the way up to the parade. And I was like, oh no, my plan's going to go, in the kibosh. And
I'm like, I guess we're not going. I'm not going to get all wet, because it was pouring at one point. And Caitlin goes to me, she goes, well, no, we're going. I'm like, if it's pouring, raining, they're not going to even have the parade.
And it didn't. The rain stopped, and we jumped on the tractors and we went around. And
I got back to my chair, and I noticed that my chair was moved in the front, because before, when I left, I would think I was like in the second or third row, and everybody moved my stuff out of them. I'm thinking, okay. But I didn't think much of it, because there were some of them a little older people, and they don't care about candy, and usually let the kids sit in front. So I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, I'm fine with sitting in front. I'm looking down the street, and I see Nick, and I'm like, what's with his face? I'm thinking, what's that look on his face? Because I could just tell there was something on his face. I can't explain it to you, but I know Nick well enough to know that there was something up with his face. And I'm thinking, okay, what is going on? And then they get up to us, and the truck before, Ron Janning's truck he was driving, he stopped, and I'm thinking, why are they stopping? And then Nick gets off, and I'm thinking, well, what is he gonna do, hand me candy or something?
Yeah, and she seen the sign before I got to her, and she just, she just freaked out. And she even used the word,
shut up. My face, honestly, I was blown away. I could not believe it. I honestly was shaking. I was like, I didn't know what to say. And I'm like, yes. And I took the ring, and I just remember standing there showing people the ring, my hands just shaking. I just couldn't, I was just so shocked. And when I saw it was the ring that I wanted, that I picked out and I had wanted, it made me cry.
That facial expression she had is just 1,000 words. I mean, it was awesome. And so I asked her, and she said yes, and yeah, it was just a blast. So
he's one of those guys that he's just such a hard worker, and he's always a gentleman to me. He treats me with respect.
She takes care of things very well, and that kind of pulled me in, because I want her to be able to take care of me like I'm going to take care of her.
He would do anything for me. He's always told me, I'll do whatever I have to do to make you happy. I'll help bale hay, I'll mow the yard. And it's funny because growing up, my dad used to be that guy. You know, I wanted something, my dad would get it for me, and now it's like, it started shifting over through our relationship that Nick did that for me.
You know, she's the type of girl you'd open the car door for her and help her put her jacket on. She's not the prissy, and that's what I like about her.
And it just made me feel special that somebody else would care enough about me to do things that I asked or wanted, and he blew my socks off.
Her biggest thing, her quirk, is cleaning. Everything is cleaning. We'd go out and do chores and come back in, and I'd want to relax. And she'd come in and she'd start cleaning the entry. I'm like, Kelsey, don't clean the entryway. You know, let's hang out. You know, but, no, I gotta get it, Nick. I gotta have it done. You know, nobody else will do it. I gotta clean it. And I'm like, Kelsey, just come relax. But she just had to clean everything up. And
he always is fidgeting. Like if we go somewhere, like in the car, or we sitting at the movies, or just anywhere, he's always doing something with if it's a control, if it's a penny, if it's whatever. I remember heading up to Strawberry Lake one year, and he was in the front seat with Corey. My brother Corey was driving, and he was playing with this penny, and he just kept flipping it around and flipping it around. I'm like, and finally it landed up in the dash, and I'm like, great job. Can you just sit still?
She thought that, you know, as far as the wedding day and cleaning up everything, she thought that she had to do it. And there, you know, you don't do that stuff on your own wedding day, I would tell her. And I'm like, no, we have to clean it up. I'm like, no, you don't. You know, that's what you pay people to do, or somebody else will handle it. Just don't worry about it.
Always forget stuff. Like I'll tell him the night before, hey Nick, remember to grab this. And then he comes and I'm like, well, did you grab it? Oh shoot, he goes. I'm like, well, come on.
She is.
I am probably. Yeah, if Nick took over the finances, no offense, we'd probably be kicked out of our house because he'd forget to pay something.
Putz.
I love you, honey.
She is.
Probably me.
She's definitely the one that started, but I pretty much own the argument, I would say.
I don't start it all the time, though.
Well,
You
close.
start them sometimes, too.
I do.
I start a lot of them, but not all of them. Can't take all the credit. He is.
I am. I don't know, I guess I'm just a big teddy bear on the inside. So, yeah.
Are you really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, she can be.
I'm not always right. I'm willing to admit that.
Always.
I'm right a lot of the time. He just doesn't see it. How's that sound?
There you go. Three.
4.
What's the compromise?
4.
3 years.
2 years. 2 years. What? I don't want to be 50 when the thing's 18, you know.
Oh gosh. He is.
I am. There again, she's the cleaner, I guess.
Let me tell you what though, he's gotten better, so I will give him that.
Better.
Just a smidge.
Honeymoon.
Wedding.
Wedding night. Honeymoon. Favor and using God as our number one will be our success.
One, also being able to communicate with each other. So when we're angry at each other, we'll be able to talk and work it out and, you know, get through everything together, through the obstacles and the hard times, and not be scared to tell each other how we feel.